Okay, so yesterday I gave you guys this. It's hotter outside. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we solved for this yesterday. What is this line called again? Altitude. Good. So this is your altitude. What about this line right here? Perpendicular bisector. Perpendicular bisector. And then what about this one right here from M to H? Median. Good. Okay, so again, you need to know those terms so that you know what you're looking for. Okay, so yesterday I broke it down for you guys. Perpendicular bisector, I'm trying to find the equation of this red line right here. So first off, I have to find the slope of GF, because in order to find the slope, I need 2 points. So slope of GF is 2 minus 5 over negative 3 minus 4. So you get negative 3 over negative 7. So 3 over 7. Right? Reason I wanted this is so that I can do the negative reciprocal to get the slope of this red line. So what is the negative reciprocal of 3 over 7? Jonathan? Negative 7 over 3. Negative 7 over 3. Good job. Okay. Now to find the midpoint, I need a point on this line, so I have to find the midpoint between G and F. Alright, so midpoint formula, remember x1 plus x2 over 2, comma, y1 plus y2 over 2. Why do I need the comma? Because it's a coordinate, your midpoint. Okay, so at the end, your answer should be a point. So between G and F, so 4 plus negative 3 over 2. And then 5 plus 2 over 2. Okay, so your midpoint it's at half and 7 over 2. If you look at your diagram, 0.5 and 3.5, does it look right? Yeah, okay, roughly about there. Okay, so now I can substitute the value into y equals mx plus b to find b. I have the slope of this red line. I need a point on this red line. So that's why you have to use m, the midpoint that we just found. Okay, so y, 7 over 2, m is negative 7 over 3, x is 1 over 2, and you're trying to solve for b. Right, so 7 over 2 equals negative 7 over 6. And then when you move it over, it's basically 7 over 2 plus 7 over 6. Lowest common denominator divide. What do you get? So 21 plus 7, 28. So B is 28 over 6. When you reduce it, 14 over 3 after reducing. Okay, so therefore, after all that, I can find the equation of that red line, which is y equal negative 7 over 3x plus 14 over 3. On the exam, can you use decimal? No, you have to have fractions. But if you are horrible with fractions and you know that you're going to get everything wrong with fractions, then do decimal. You will lose a mark or two, but at least you get 3 out of 5, for example. Okay. Okay. How many of you got that for your equation? Perpendicular bisector. Okay. Really? What did you guys get wrong? Okay. Okay, so if you got it, good for you. There were a lot of steps involved. No, we're taking this up. You need this. Huh? Huh? What? You're gonna be clean. No, this is just you need this. 20%. Okay. I want you to stay. Okay. For median. So now to find a median, you're looking at this line right here. I'll shade it in here so that you guys can see it better. Okay, this right there, that's your median. Median is to the midpoint, to the opposite vertice. So this midpoint we actually found already. Okay, it was 1/2 and 7/2. Okay, since you know 2 points on this line, you do know this point and this point, I can directly find the slope. Okay, using point M and point H. So slope formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So M and H. So, oh, this is gonna get ugly. Right. So, you know what? Let's do decimals. I just want to show, like, in case if fractions is gonna make you lose more marks, I'd rather you use decimals. So 3.5. All right. So 3.5 minus -2 over 0.5 minus 5. Okay, so when you do that, you get 5.5 over -4.5. Okay, so it is -11/9 if you times both by 2 to get it back to a fraction form. Alright, so that's a little trick that you could do on the exam as well. Change it to a decimal and then change it back to a fraction. If you have one of those fancy calculators that does fraction for you, then you have no problem. Okay, and then y equals mx plus b. I'm going to use this point instead because it's a nice whole number, nice integers for point h. So point h is -2. Slope is -11/9. X is 5. Alright, so then you get -2 equals -55/9. Move it over to the other side. So -2 plus 55/9. You can do mixed number if you want. Otherwise, you could do improper fraction as well. Here. Okay, let me see. What is that? -2 plus 59/9. You get, so B comes out to be 37/9. Right, after you add it all up. So your equation of your median, y equal -11/9x plus 37/9. Okay. How many of you got that? The median. Good. Okay. Next, going over these example. Expanding and factoring. So expanding, remember FOIL? What does it stand for?
First, no.
Yes? First.
Outside,
Right. So first, outside, inside, left. All right. That tells you the order of how you should multiply. Okay. When you factor, so there's only one way of expanding, and in factoring, there's all these different types. So common factor, you always do this first. Look at all the terms, see if there's anything you can pull out of everything. So that's common factor. When there's 4 terms, it tells you that you should do group factoring. So the first 2 and then the last 2, factor them separately. And then when there's 3 terms, you can do the triangle and square method when it's just x squared. Or when there is a variable, then you can do the cross multiply method. Okay. The last type is perfect square factoring. So when you see numbers like 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, these perfect square numbers, that tells you you should do perfect square factoring. Right? The other one is just like perfect square. It's called difference of square. So when there's 2 terms, so it's one is minus, one is plus. Okay. And then lastly, if it asks you to solve by factoring, it means set it to 0 first and then factor, and then set each of the brackets to 0 to solve, which we will do right here. Okay, so simplified and factor if possible. Okay, so what you want to do first is expand this out. For this part right here, x squared plus 3 to the power of 2. Does that mean my answer is just 4x squared plus 9?
No.
No. William, sorry?
Use FOIL.
FOIL, that's right. You have to write it out. Write out both brackets. Okay? And then you will know that you should use FOIL. So do not just apply that square there. A lot of people make that silly mistake. Okay? So FOIL. Remember FOIL. First, outside, inside, and then last by multiplying. So 2x times 2x, 4x squared. 2x times 3 plus 6x. 3 times 2x plus 6x. 3 times 3 plus 9. So if you just did the 4x squared and the 9, you lost your middle term. Okay. This right here, okay, I also like doing the FOIL first before I multiply everything by that. So do FOIL here. Okay. I haven't done anything to the -3, so I leave it there. I put a bracket around my FOIL. So negative 2x squared, negative 7x, plus 10x, plus 35. Right? So I just multiplied. Okay. I'll just, and then I'm gonna do this part first. I'll just keep everything. I'll keep everything first. I'll write down all this. All right, now you're multiplying. Remember, you're distributing that -3 to everything inside the bracket. To everything inside. Okay. You could simplify it first before you do that. Doesn't matter. You should get the same answer. So remember, you're multiplying. So what's -3 times -2?
6x.
Right. So plus 6x squared. -3 times -7x.
21.
Plus 21x. -3 times 10x.
-30x.
Good. And then -3 times 35. -105. Okay. Am I done? No, not even close. I can collect like terms. So I can group my pineapples together, which are these. I can group my apples together, which are these, all the x terms. And then lastly, I group the oranges together. Okay. So 4x squared plus 6x squared, I get 10x squared. 6 plus 6 plus 21 minus 30, I get 3. And then 9 minus 105 minus 96. Now am I done? No. Yeah, I know this is a long question. Why not? Factor, right? It actually says simplify and then factor. So this is actually a really long question. On the exam, I think if anything, I separate it into two different questions. One is just like expand and simplify, and then the other one is factor. Okay, this is kind of like 2-in-1 question. So factor, it's a trinomial factor. So what times what gives me 10?
5 times 2.
Okay, so let's try it. 5x times 2x. What times what gives me negative 96?
12 times 1.
I got negative 16 and 6.
12 times 8. 24 is 4.
Okay, well, let's try it out. Okay, so let's say I do this, the cross multiply. I get 30x minus 32x. Oh, I'm off by a little because I get negative 2. I want, after I cross multiply, I want to get that 3. So that's not it. Okay, well, let's try what William said. Negative 12 and 8. Okay, so 8 times 5, 40x. 40x minus 24x. I get 16x. That's not what I want. Okay. Now what if I change it up? Negative 8 and 12. 16. No, that's way off. Oops. Okay. Since I forgot to press the unpause button. Okay, so just again quickly what I did here, I moved that 28x over on this side. So now everything equals 0. Common factor first. So factor out that 2x from each of the 3 terms. By dividing, I get this. And then do the cross multiply method. So 2x times x gives me 2x squared. Negative 7 times 2 gives me negative 14. So when I cross multiply, I do get that negative 3x that I want in the middle. So this means this is the right order. These are my 2 brackets, like this. Don't forget that 2x at the beginning that you common factored out. Okay, and then you do your 2 arrows. In this case, you have 3 factors. So that means if x is 0, this whole thing is true. When x is 7 over 2, this whole equation is true. When x is negative 2, this whole equation is true too, because as long as one of these is 0, anything times 0 is 0. Right, Andrew? Man, Andrew, you're going to hear your name in every one of my videos. Answer then. Ooh. Okay. Question.
So, by solving, we're trying to find any possible answers, which is 0, 7 over 2, and then 2.
Yeah. So all 3 are your answers. So if x is 0 or this or this, it will satisfy this whole equation.
Are you sure we did that?
Yes, we did this part for sure.
I remember finding that.
Of course we did. Go through your nose. I'll show you the video. I have video proof. Okay. So that was the factoring stuff. Okay, let's just go over this page really quickly, and then I'll let you guys work on the next few pages. Okay, quadratic relations. Remember, you guys did a whole project on this, so you guys should be the expert. Standard form, factored form, vertex form. All right, this is a nice little summary that tells you what each form gives you. So standard form tells you your y-intercept. Factor form tells you your x-intercepts or zeros or roots, just all means the same thing. And then vertex form, guess what? It tells you the vertex. Okay. And then it also tells you your maximum or minimum. Okay. When you when you want to find the roots, okay, so if you can't do it by factoring, you can do it by quadratic formula. So this is the formula. On the test, it was disappointing when some of you still got the formula wrong. Okay, what happens if you get the formula wrong? You're done. Yeah, the whole question is done. Okay, so make sure you know it. You have to memorize it. Okay, discriminant, aka number of solution, aka how many x-intercept there is. So you can see b squared minus 4ac is the exact same thing in your quadratic formula. So if you get more than 0, that means there's 2 x-intercepts. So like this, for example, you have 2 x-intercept. You can have equal 0, which means there's 1 x-intercept. And then you can have this, which means there's no x-intercept. It doesn't cross your x-axis. Okay, and then completing the square. Those are the steps again. Okay, factor out the a from the first 2 terms. Add and subtract b divided by 2 squared. Multiply out the 4th term. Factor it into a perfect square trinomial. Okay. The transformation, remember A tells you, does the A only tell you if it's stretch and compress? Give me 30 seconds. Does the A only tell you the stretch and compress? What else does it tell you? If it opens up or down, if it's flipped, if it's reflected along the x-axis. Good. What about H? How is it shifting? Left or right, and then the up or down. Good. Do you need to know this for the exam? Yeah. Yes. This should be easy marks. This part we did. It really is not hard to understand. It's the 3 changes. It's worth I think this part, the transformation, is the easiest part to get the most marks. Question? Not yet. I think that's what Tatum was asking. Okay. So. Okay, for homework, rest of the class and homework. Let's do the next 2 pages. Okay, so this page and this page. Okay, so these 2 pages for homework, and then tomorrow we will finish off with trigonometry so that you will have the whole package done to review over the weekend. And then on Monday I'll give you guys some more questions on the board or whatever.